Kindness will save your soul. The TLDR, or the TLDL, too long didn't listen, for today is this. It doesn't matter what your identity is, or what your struggle is, what your past is. As long as you become a person who embraces the virtues of humility, gratitude, and kindness. So be humble, grateful, and kind. Kind to yourself, kind to others. When you're kind to yourself, you can love yourself. You can be free to love yourself, free to love others, and live your best life. If you want to hear more, just keep listening to the soothing sounds of this MAIM Time monologue.
You know what time it is? It's MAIM Time.
You're listening to MAIM Time. This podcast is about overcoming the identity struggle for Asian diaspora worldwide. At least that's the rough tagline I have. That's just one take on the topic of Asian diaspora identity or the identity struggle. Some might argue the identity struggle is eternal and can never be, quote unquote, overcome. Or do we call it healing from the symptoms or pain of the identity struggle? Is it conquering the struggle like slaying demons, slaying the dragon like Carl Jung? Coming to peace with the struggle, accepting the struggle, transcending the modality, and realizing there is no struggle, like there is no spoon. I invite you to explore these ideas for yourself as you listen to whatever we talk about here on the show. So last episode was about humility and gratitude. In episode 83, using humility and gratitude to cheat the game of life. This episode, I want to talk about kindness. I'm proposing a holy trinity of humility, gratitude, and kindness. These three things, will make you a good person. And being a good person is really what matters in this life. One might argue that humility is a precursor to gratitude, which leads to kindness. It's easier to be kind when your ego is lowered, to be humble and grateful enough to see others as yourself and desire to treat them well. A few episodes back, in episode number 80, A Prayer to the Ancestors for Future Generations, I shared a story about this Korean woman that I know named Auntie J. Briefly, earlier this year, Auntie J made a trip up to LA from San Diego to visit an elderly woman close to 100 years of age, like another elderly Korean woman. They have been in contact for decades and they have a whole lifetime of experiences between them. Auntie J's like 70. She's known this old grandma since she was like 18. And when my brother drove Auntie J up to LA for this trip, she brought her like $500 and a boatload of groceries, and they spent lunch together. This elderly grandma that Auntie J has known forever was apparently super generous and kind to her family from back in the 1970s. Like, she gave Auntie J's family like a place to stay when they didn't have one and they were in need. So they had this lunch and a great time chatting. I wasn't there. This is just what I recollect from Auntie J telling me about that day. And as they were chatting, what they realized was that in life, all kinds of things happen. People come and go. You make tons of money, you lose tons of money, whatever. 헛되고 헛되도다. But what remains the same, what lasts, is the kindness you shared with people a long time ago. The acts of kindness, decades apart, even moving to the other side of the world, they still kept in touch. And they finally met after however many years these Korean women came to California, however many years ago. So I'm just bringing up this story as a shining example of, again, it's just hearsay of what happens at the end of life. Is maybe the only things that matter to you are the people who are kind to you and the people you are kind to. And maybe what you need is to just be as kind as you can to everyone in your life, living a life of service to others, helping others however you can. The relationships you forge in meaning, in kindness, being good to other people. Not saying you need to volunteer at a soup kitchen or give all your money away to charity or help the homeless or start a charity necessarily, but just in your everyday life, performing even small acts of kindness for people in your life. Your family, your coworkers, acquaintances, and strangers will ripple across time and space with compounding effect. All the acts of kindness compound. Your karma compounds. And not that if you acquire enough karma points, you're going to freaking heaven or something like that. Like God's like, oh, you were good to this many people and you did X amount of good deeds in your life. Then now you are worthy to be in heaven forever. But if you didn't, you're going to, that's not what I'm talking about. It's just a game that you play for yourself, that you know who you are. And you might ask, what does this have to do with Asian identity or being Asian American, Korean American? What does it have to do with me being, a Korean adoptee who grew up in France, or a Vietnamese person who grew up in Germany? And German is my first language, and I'm kind of struggling because I have all this complex of how people view me and whether or not I'm German enough, and all that crap. You know who you are. It no longer matters what your ethnic or cultural upbringing is, or where you grew up, and this and that, and how you feel about people feeling about you and accepting you or whatnot. And I'm not saying we don't acknowledge these things or where we come from. I'm not saying we don't appreciate, distinguish, respect our differences as distinct peoples, as distinct individuals. What I'm saying is what really matters in life is the quality of your person as an individual. Are you entitled? You think life owes you something? You think other people should or shouldn't be or do something to you or accept you the way you are, and you resent them for not doing that? Or your parents, why can't your parents be like this? And why'd you have to be grown up in this time and place? And, do those thoughts bring you peace? How has that worked out for you by all those resentments and dwelling on the confusion and, quite frankly, a victimhood mentality, of victim thoughts? I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there. I'm not going to lie. Whatever your life situation is, your parents don't accept you for who you are. Your partner won't listen to you. You don't feel like you belong wherever you are. You feel like you need to get that job. You need to make more money. You need to do better, or else it means you're not enough. You chase validation your whole life without even realizing it, from friends and family and society. Not that it's wrong to want nice things or to set lofty, ambitious goals, but whether or not you get those things has no bearing on your freaking soul. Being kind to yourself and to others is what matters. Not thinking you're better than others, or that if you don't get this or you don't do that, you won't be as good as others, that you're not worthy. That's not what matters. Kindness matters. Brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter if you feel confused and if you don't feel like you belong in America or Korea or China or Canada or Australia, wherever you are in the world, whatever your circumstances and your life story is, whatever the stories that we tell ourselves. When you are kind to yourself and others, you belong anywhere. People of all walks of life will see you for who you are. Kindness is a universal language across all nations, across all generations. And this ties in with ideals of Stoicism. I talked in another episode of MAIM Time, Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, the ancient solution to your modern identity struggle, about living a life according to virtue in spite of the chaos and impermanence of life and its evils and sufferings. That you have no control over the world or the thoughts and actions of other people, or the economy, or even your own life situation, but your own mind and your own behavior and how you respond to these things. Everything comes and goes, but you can seek for peace and virtue in your own mind. That virtue is its own reward, doing the right thing. And if you strive for virtuous, honest action, that will make your identity struggle irrelevant because your identity is aligned with virtue. Humility, gratitude, patience, kindness, steadfastness, trust and faith in virtue, in that doing the right thing is its own reward. If you embrace these timeless ideals and strive to your utmost, then who can judge you at the end of your life? But as a citizen of the cosmos, a cosmopolitan who is at home anywhere in the world because he has order in his own soul. Doesn't matter which polis he is part of, what state, what country, what nation. He is a cosmopolitan. She is cosmopolitan. She fits anywhere. She's at order with the cosmos which means order. Order in your soul. Kindness, goodwill towards others. This is the shining peak of human experience and the human spirit. Kindness, what could be greater? If I embrace these ideals, all the perceived grievances from my past don't have to bear the weight. They become irrelevant once I realize that who I am is deeper than the pain and trauma of my past. All my grievances, real, imagined, perceived, not feeling like I belong anywhere, wishing I wasn't born Korean or Asian, wishing I was something that I'm not, wishing I was just American or just Korean, resenting God or my parents for my existence, wanting the world to burn to feel my pain. Oh, I hate my life. I hate God. I hate my family. I hate the universe. I hate Korean people. I hate American people. Oh, I hate everybody. I'm in so much pain. Why don't people accept me for who I am? All of that pain can be laughed away with gentle kindness towards yourself and toward others. Kindness. So, fam, that's the message for this episode. I could go in deeper and I could go in from every other angle, but I hope that this is enough. Just kindness. Be kind to yourself. This is something I struggle with every day, just being kind to myself. And I want to be a kinder person, kinder to everyone in my life. We have the virtues trinity of humility, gratitude, and kindness. Next year, the topic of the episode is going to be something else that's trite and blasé, like peace, joy, and love. But yes, combine this trinity of humility, gratitude, and kindness with dedication to discipline, a commitment to courage and virtue for its own sake, doing the right thing, whatever it means in your own personal life circumstances on a day-to-day basis, doing the right thing, being of honest, virtuous, hardworking character, you'll become the hero of your dreams, an upstanding person in this world, loved and cherished and respected by everyone, and most importantly, yourself. Thank you so much for listening to MAIM Time. I hope you have had a wonderful 2025, and I wish you a happy new year ahead in 2026, and I'll see you soon. Much love and kindness to you all. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. MAIM Time.